Good evening, Vice Chair Rogers and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Latricia Tillman. I'm pleased to serve as your Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer, especially in the moments when we stand together in support. I'm pleased to offer a few introductory remarks on our cultural heritage celebrations before I turn it over to Lee, Jacob, and Ricardo from the Washington County Pride Month Planning Committee to read the proclamation. So Washington County Cultural Heritage celebrations and resource pages are an important starting point for our collective organizational engagement and learning about equity, diversity, and inclusion. Central to bringing the board's commitment to centering equity and community voices is deepening our understanding of the many diverse communities that are a part of Washington County and our employee community. The Pride Month celebration we will enjoy this in June has been planned and organized, is being planned and organized by dozens of staff who volunteer to support our learning in addition to their official work in participation with our partners at Clean Water Services. Members of this group of passionate and dedicated staff have been leading our Pride Month celebrations since 2019, so predating the equity resolution. The cultural celebrations offer an opportunity to enter into relationship with staff and community who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, and many other identities in this community to build trust and to deepen our understanding of these diverse and growing communities in Washington County. These celebrations also create an opportunity to learn about historic and present oppression of the LGBTQ+ community and the community's resilience in the face of oppression, so that we can reflect on whether or not our current policies and sentiments support the well-being of the LGBTQ+ community and address historic exclusion. The Heritage Month committees are thoughtful about the learning opportunities they share with our Washington County community and are always interested in learning more. So we encourage people who may be curious about what is or is not presented or the policy implications of what is shared this month to reach out to us at the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement, or to open a dialogue with their colleagues or the planning committee members. I want to thank all the members of the committee who met over the past few weeks under the leadership of Committee Chair Highland Edelman in Environmental Health and formerly of the Office of Equity. The commitment that they make to increasing the visibility and acceptance of members of this community in our workforce and the community at large is invaluable. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Ricardo Palazuelos, Jacob Rosales, and Lee Van Duzer of the Pride Month Planning Committee to read this year's proclamation.
Thank you, Latricia. Whereas our country was founded on the principle of equal rights for all people, but the fulfillment of this promise has been too long in coming for many Americans, including those who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual, and two-spirit plus people, and
whereas an historic turning point in the movement toward equal rights for LGBTQ+ people occurred on June 28, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn in New York City, when LGBTQ+ community members rose up and fought back against brutal police raids and discriminatory criminal laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. And whereas the first LGBTQ+ Pride Parade took place over 1 year after the Stonewall riots on June 28, 1970, to commemorate the events at Stonewall, launching what would become an annual nationwide tradition of Pride celebrations every year since then. And
whereas we remember that the uprising at Stonewall was led by people of color and Black and Latinx trans members of the LGBTQ+ community, and that past and present battles for racial and LGBTQ+ justice in this country were built on the shoulders of courageous change makers like Jose Sarria, Maxine Perkins, Donna Burkett, Manonia Evans, Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, as well as many others. And
whereas, though the struggle for federal rights and protections for LGBTQ plus people persists, on June 11th, 1999, Pride Month was federally recognized for the first time, commemorating the 30th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. And whereas on June 24th, 2016, the Stonewall Inn was designated as a national monument, forever preserving this historic site where the modern LGBTQ plus civil rights movement began. And
whereas in our country's continuing struggle to seek justice for Black lives, our current Pride Month celebrations underscore the critical role that intersectionality plays in the fight for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning justice. And
whereas even with continued attempts at the local, state, and federal levels to enact oppressive legislation that threatens the rights, safety, and very lives of LGBTQ plus people, their struggle for dignity and equality is reflected in their tireless dedication to forge a more inclusive society, along with support from committed advocates and allies. And whereas the great diversity, invaluable contributions to our communities, and enduring activism of the LGBTQ plus community can never be canceled or forgotten. And
whereas
love
love
wins.
wins. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on this 23rd day of May 2023, the Washington County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim June 2023 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month and urge all community residents to eliminate discrimination and injustice wherever they exist, to celebrate the lives of our LGBTQ plus neighbors and friends, and to work together to create a more inclusive society that values all people, no matter who they are and who they love, extending the promise of our country to all people. Latricia.
Concluded?
That's concluded.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
Thank you. We turn it back over to you.
Thank you. And thank you to our presenters. Trici's the only one in the audience. Everybody else is on camera, but we see you. Other than the person who was upside down, we don't see you anymore. But that, yeah. So we have a proclamation before us. We need a motion and a second, please.
So moved, and I just wanted to say to our employees and to our residents that we celebrate with you this month and beyond, and I just wanted to share that. Growing up, I lived in Portland, Oregon, and one of the things I enjoyed my younger years when I lived there was the Pride parade or the celebration. So June is my favorite because of that event growing up. So I just wanted to share. I celebrate with you, and happy Pride Month in June.
I'd like to second what Nafisa said and also the motion, but also I want to extend my appreciation for those who read the proclamation this evening, who are employees that have helped us gain more and more knowledge about all members of our community, and thank you for your work here at the county and throughout our community. We are better for all of you.
All right. We have had a motion. We have had a second. All in favor, raise your right hand, please. I don't see any opposed, so thank you. The proclamation has been read and adopted.
Thank you.